Okay, this is like the fourth time I've filmed this. Is it focused?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It has been a long time. I have switched jobs, I got engaged, I took up a very, very time-consuming crochet hobby for a bit, but now I am back on YouTube because I also, in the time since I last posted, wrote my first fantasy book. So I need a ton of new stuff for it. I need a website, I need a book cover design, I need to design a map for the world that I created. So I wanted to do that all with you and show the process and also talk a little bit more about my book. So we're gonna make a website and hope that it turns out, and if it doesn't, maybe just go into hiding. Who knows? I guess this is a judgment-free zone, as you've seen in my prior videos, so it is guaranteed probably not to come out right on the first try. Okay, well that's enough talking. I'm gonna talk more about the process and a little bit about the book during the video, so let's just get started. I'm going to show you everything I did in sequential order, which is not the order I would recommend if you're doing this yourself. I started out in Webflow trying to outline there before I came to my senses and moved into Figma. The overall look I wanted to go for was something tactile and antique in a charming, kind of fantastical way. The design of the world of the book is based on a time period somewhere between Jane Austen and Peaky Blinders, so right at the beginning of Industrial Revolution, not to the point where they have fancy cars yet, but people aren't riding around everywhere on horses. I knew generally that I needed a hero image, aka some kind of eye-catching graphic that will hold the visitor's attention without them having to scroll, and that I would want to include some snippets of the book, like quotes, and that I will need a newsletter, so I want to gather the emails of anyone interested in staying updated via a form on every page. I'm using a blurred version of the book cover, but I will post the full process and design of that in a future video. I'm bringing in a lot of textures that I played with for the book cover, and as you might be noticing, I was going a little bit overboard. So just bear with me through this design. I do rein it in eventually. The book is fantasy, as I said, but the world has a medium magic system. So if you're not familiar with hard and soft magic systems, a hard magic system is one where the magic has very clear rules and logic, and the hero usually has some kind of power that they are learning how to use, like a puzzle they solve through the story. You can think about this like the bending in Avatar: The Last Airbender, or the spells that they cast in Harry Potter. On the flip side, a soft magic system is one where the world itself contains all of this inexplicable magic, and the hero's journey usually involves learning about the world, but not necessarily mastering a certain power, like Spirited Away or Lord of the Rings. My book has both hard and soft magic, so the world has soft magic in that it has mythology and mythological creatures like gods and titans, but it also has hard magic because there are some rare humans in the world who do have special powers. So in this world, my protagonist, whose name is Yam, is a talented chemist who works for a gang called the Stags. She isn't really a good person, but she has some remaining moral codes that start to set off alarm bells when weird things start happening in the gang. In the process of her investigating more into it, she stumbles across this conspiracy between the leader of her gang and the queen that basically threatens to destroy the world as she knows it. Yam realizes that these stories she heard as a little girl about a world tree and gods and titans are actually true, and that these immortal beings are actually behind this whole plot that has basically upended her life. So she's faced with this quandary of continuing to keep her head down and basically just protect herself, or do something about what she has discovered and save the world. And to learn more about what happens, you will have to stay tuned. So at this point in the design process, I was getting a bit turned around figuring out the structure of the site, so I stepped back into a FigJam board to map out the pages and the information on each page with the connections between them. So for any UX designers, this is like a very low fidelity information architecture crossed with a user flow map. So once I mapped this out, I went back to designing the secondary pages, including a preview page where I will publish the first chapter of the book as a teaser. I took a lot of inspiration from similar sites. The main ones were Sarah J. Maas and Leigh Bardugo's site. And obviously they have published many books and have many resources, and I'm not at all a competitor of theirs. But why not make it look like we have the same amount of time and resources that they do? Because we fake it till we make it, right? So the next page I designed is an Explore the World page where I will showcase the map of the world and include some interactive content about specific places where my protagonist visits on her journey. I will show the process of creating the map and this interactive page in a future video as well. So at this point I added my last page, an About the Author page, and went back to my other pages to make sure all the interactions made sense. My personal philosophy designing in Figma is to use auto layouts as much as possible because it guarantees that things will be pixel perfect without having to go through and check everything at the end. I also designed this knowing that I would be developing it myself in Webflow and that likely it won't come out exactly the way I designed it, so I didn't want to waste a lot of time being precious with it. Now I got to the point where I came back into Webflow and started translating the designs into the CSS styling. So if you're translating from Figma to Webflow, I had a lot of success using the Flex layout for the div blocks and the sections because it works one-to-one like an auto layout in Figma. So you can set your row or column spacing and your horizontal or vertical layout straight from Figma into the Webflow element. And now here you'll see I'm bringing all these textures into Webflow, and I tried to make one of those ticker banners that animates just like traveling across the screen indefinitely. And I struggle bust my way through it, and to be honest, I still haven't figured it out. So we'll see if by the time I post this video, if the site has a ticker banner. I guess you'll just have to go check it out for yourself. I also had a lot of fun creating all the links. These I was able to figure out, but the links are a bit confusing because you have a link block element which you put text or icons inside of, and then it's hard to figure out which of those nested elements you're styling, so it takes a little bit of time. At this point, I did a critique with one of my design friends, and he suggested that I tone down the textures. So no surprises there, but he also suggested that I bring in this really rich purple color that I used in the book cover more so into the website design. So after that, I became a lot more intentional with where I was using textures, and I brought in that purple color to be the main accent color in the site's palette. So purple is a really important color in the book. It's the color of the sky before dawn. It's a color associated with rarity and royalty. So it's the perfect accent color on the palette of muted earth tones I was using. I wanted to bring in some illustration to make up for where I'd lost visual interest when I got rid of the texture patterns. So I used an AI from this platform called Kittl. And I know, if I had the illustration skills, I would do it myself, but this is a great way to bring in a skill set that you might not be as strong on with your creative vision, and it was really just a jumping off point. So I created this leaf illustration because a lot of the magic of the book revolves around nature and plants, since Yam is a chemist, so I wanted to bring that into the visual language. I had originally played with these ideas of powder and tool belts since Yam's main weapon is a powder belt where she keeps all the powders she has created because, again, she's a chemist. But the AI was really not understanding my vision for that, so I just stuck with the leaves. After some fiddling, I ended up just doing the responsive design right in Webflow, so I changed all the margins as I went through the different device sizes, etc. thank you for watching. That was so much fun to make, and I hope you had as much fun watching it as I had making it. And I hope you stay tuned for more things like a book cover and the map that I'm gonna create for the world. If you want to see the website in person, if you want to see the website for yourself, or learn more about the book, the link will be in the description. And can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye!